To better understand PTP operation, we can look at the following analogy. In the town of Sinkville lives the punctual Mr. T. He is responsible with the task to synchronize the school clock with the town clock. He carries this task several times a day. In this analogy, the time source or the network grandmaster is the town hall clock tower. The delivery method representing the PTP packets is our Mr. T, the time messenger. Intermediate nodes, such as switches and routers, will be represented by traffic lights. And the client or slave device is the school's clock. The first part of the analogy is direct time delivery. We will assume Mr. T strides at a constant and known speed. This is equivalent to packets traveling down a wire. The time it takes to get from the town clock tower to the school is known. In this example, let's assume it is 5 minutes. Mr. T is checking this time by clocking his walk to school and back, and then dividing the result by 2. Mr. T records the time he leaves the tower on a piece of paper, literally timestamping it. He walks down to the school and hands out the timestamped paper to the secretary, Mrs. S. Adding the known walk time to the school. Then, Mrs. S adjusts the local school clock as necessary. To illustrate the impact of introducing a PTP unaware switch to the network in this analogy, let's assume the town is growing and the mayor decided to build a new junction, with a traffic light, right on Mr. T's way to school. This is equivalent to an unaware switch or router. The new traffic light is smart and operates based on traffic conditions. So it's difficult to predict how long it takes to stand and wait for it to change. Now, when Mr. T arrives at the school, the actual time it took him to reach there is longer. The known walk time is not enough. The result is Mrs. S adjusting the school's clock to the wrong time. In fact, a few minutes behind the real time. Could traffic prioritization provide a suitable solution in this case? Standing at the line when light is red adds variable time to Mr. T's journey. To eliminate this impairment, he is granted with high priority pass, so now he doesn't have to wait in line. However, the light may still be red anytime Mr. T reach it on his way to school. The result may be a shorter delay, but it's still unpredictable. Mr. T decides to take things into his own hands, so he picks up a stopwatch at the shop for tomorrow's walk. PTP transparent clock is a much more accurate solution. It allows the switch to indicate the time of PTP frames passing through it, also known as residence time. It then stores it in a designated place within the packet, called the correction field. This time, when Mr. T stops at the light, he starts his new shiny stopwatch. When the light turns green, he stops the watch. The time shown on the stopwatch is the actual waiting time at the light. The residence time. When reaching the school, he adds the stopwatch reading, the residence time, to the walk time and notes them on the piece of paper. As a result, the secretary's clock adjustment can be done more accurately. Mr. T realizes he can actually go through several lights, resuming the stopwatch whenever it's red when he arrives at the light. The priority pass has lower importance at this point, while the stopwatch's accuracy is becoming more important with each additional node. Our final analogy depicts the use of a boundary clock. The industrious mayor decided to build another school. This means that now both schools need to be served by time messengers to be synchronized. Being intimidated by Mr. T, the mayor promotes him and makes him head of the town's time department. He gets 2 more civil servants to his department, Mr. B and Mr. C. Mr. T is also a smart guy, so he reorganizes the process. He prepares 2 pieces of paper with the origin timestamp. The 2 new messengers are waiting for him at the light. When he arrives, he still records the residence time for each one, and adds the walk time to the stopwatch reading. Then, he hands them the papers. For them, the origin time is the time when the light turned green. Mr. B continues to the old school, while Mr. C heads to the new one. The secretary, although being surprised to see someone else than Mr. T, is still happy to get the correct time.